So Charles, hey, let me get this right. So you had to kind of educate an underwriter
Yeah,
on some
a
details
couple of them.
of
A couple
right
of them.
military service. As I understand it, just kind of break it down for the audience here. And by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You're a licensed loan officer, which is awesome. You love helping your people, your military members that are looking to purchase homes, the VA loan. And
Yep.
you ran across this gal that is in the reserves, and she's about to go active duty. But as she does, she's also going to be commissioned as an officer, right?
Yes.
And as I
Yeah,
understand it,
because of her background.
say it again. Sorry.
Yeah, because of her background, she'll be directly commissioned as an officer, and
Okay,
she actually gets to jump up to the rank of captain.
gotcha. But we have the situation where she's got these TDY orders, which we know what that is,
Yeah.
and then she has to go to a leadership school, and that kind of
Yep.
tripped up the underwriter. Tell us what happened. Break it down for us, especially
Yeah.
for.
So
Uh,
the reason I wanted to get this across the underwriters is as I was pre-approving her, I asked for orders, her active duty orders and everything like that. And when she sent it to me, on one order, it states her TDY to officer to basic officer leadership course, which it's not the same as officer candidate school.
hmm,
BOLC is more of like pertaining to her MOS.
hmm.
On the same order, it says, here are the dates you're supposed to report to your TDY. Here's when you graduate, and then you report to your duty station in October.
And that's
So
on
right,
the actual PCS is
yeah,
correct.
yep, her PCS. So right away, right up front, when I read that, I knew it was going to trip up some underwriter that doesn't quite understand the situation. Active duty contracts. So I didn't have a clear active duty contract that states on this date you will be entering in active duty, and then you'll be serving 4 years. Nothing that exact. So basically, I got her orders, and then I also got her statement of commissioning because she's being directly commissioned. But they use that as her active duty contract.
Gotcha. So in
So
reality,
with
her
those two,
sorry, just kind of break it down here. In reality, her income was not going to change. It
no,
was going
no,
to be
not
what
at
it is.
all. If anything, it was actually going to go up from where she was at now, because right now she's a reservist enlisted. She's
Well,
going to
no,
be
no, no,
jumping up to
I'm not referring. Okay, so
rank
what I mean
captain.
is the income that she would begin to collect base BAH as an officer being commissioned, entering active duty at the same time. That wasn't going to change once she began to play that role in July. It was going to be the same in
Correct.
October, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah.
And you're trying to close. We're recording this in June. And you're
We're,
trying to
we're yeah
close
we're
on.
trying to close early July, just before she has to go to on her TDY orders.
Gotcha. So the underwriter was having a problem with it, and you tried to kind of quote unquote educate the underwriter. She wasn't
Yeah.
having it. So what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, I just kept pushing and kept pushing with a couple of the underwriters that I had. At the end of the day, I just couldn't get them to understand, what her order states and um, why it's stable income. Because they're
Even though it said the word temporary,
yeah,
right?
yep, exactly. That was their biggest thing was, oh, it's temporary. No, it's temporary duty because she's not at her duty station. They're sending
Permanent
her,
duties. Yeah.
yeah, temporarily. Doesn't mean that she's going to get temporary income
Sure.
and then
Sure.
there's a break and then she's going to get full-time income, right?
Yeah.
But I think that was part of what they were getting tripped at. The other part of it was they think of basic officer leadership course as like, oh, well, what if she doesn't graduate?
Hmm.
And I try to argue, I've got a soldier that's been in for 16 years. She's got a master's degree and she's already been serving the same MOS in civilian.
Hmm.
She's had years and years of training. Like, is it possible to not make it through officer candidate or to that BOLC?
Hmm.
Yes. I
Hmm.
mean, just as if I were to submit that was the other thing that I tried to say is that, in the civilian world, sometimes all we need is an offer letter.
Right.
An offer letter that states when they start, how much they're getting paid, and then we can close the loan. That's
Hmm.
essentially what we have.
Hmm.
We've got her active duty contract. It's even better than an offer letter. She has a
Right.
signed contract,
Wow.
for 4 years.
If I may interject,
So
Charles, this is a classic example of, I want to say maybe, and I'm not downing any particular loan officer or underwriter,
yeah,
but I want to say that perhaps a loan officer that wasn't so familiar with military service may have backed away from this battle,
right.
not
Yeah, I
knowing
think I
what
think
a
that's
TDY really was, and that the income is stable and it's going to continue, and really nothing's going to change. I mean, of course, it's going to get a raise going from reserve to a commissioned officer,
right.
but
And you get VAH because we're going
right,
from reservist to active duty. So
yeah, and you got the thumbs down from two underwriters, and then
yeah.
knowing you, hey, you're not going to stop. You knew you were right. You went to a third, and how did that conversation go? That's awesome.
So I called our account executive, and she was like, "Hey, our underwriter is about to get in a call with a VA right now." So and a couple hours later, she emailed me and gave me a phone call, and she's like, "Hey, we've got it from VA. They guided us to where we need to look in the VA handbook.
Yeah,
So they're like, so yeah, we'll be able to okay her with her future income starting July 14th. And then she'll have VAH and the rank of captain. Now we're under contract. She went shopping this weekend. She's under
man,
contract.
that's awesome. So
Yeah,
she's already in process. She'll probably close here in a couple 2-3 weeks and get her home. And
yep,
I don't want to say all because, but primarily because you were not willing to back away from something that you knew to be
yeah,
true and accurate, and you fought for that, and you found the underwriter that aligned with the facts rather
right,
than just back
exactly.
away.
Yep. Just because I'm like, how do they not understand how simple this is?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
and like I said, I've even presented to them as like, look, if it
hmm,
was a civilian career and they're getting an offer letter and we're using that, we can
right,
use that.
right,
That's
right.
essentially like this is what we have is better. It's an offer letter, but it's a signed contract. You know,
That's awesome, Charles.
so
Congratulations, man.
yeah,
Go,
thank you.
go get some more loans and go help some more veterans. I appreciate you. Thank you for your service, and thank
We'll
you for
do.
your diligence and being good at your craft. It brings results. So kudos to you, man. You have a great afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
All right.